Yep, it's me, Dana B, back with another stream. Yeah, whatever. Light duty. What am I saying? AtomicGiftShop.com. Atomic Gift Shop. That's me. I'm a little out of sorts apparently. Anyway, I'm just adjusting audio and hoping that it is coming in. I was gonna I was gonna do a desktop a workbench stream this morning. I was gonna try working on developing a little model thing to do a little scratch building thing to do a follow along because on July 26th I will be participating in the um, what is it called? Oh, the Camp Chaos that Art and Jest is putting on, and I will be one of many uh, streamers who are taking part of that. But my stream is towards the end, and I want to have something that I haven't entirely decided what I'm doing yet. I think it'll be a scratch build thing with making a little robot out of stuff you might have on hand, um, or stuff that's easy to get. But I don't know. Haven't worked through that process yet. It could just end up being a coloring along. you know, just might make some coloring pages for that. But anyway, let's pop over to our workbench. Not our workbench, our desktop. My screen and transition. If we get to the 3D modeling part today, which I don't know if we'll do or not, this is my little saucer design. I would like, I've had a couple of comments on this. One of which is being that you have all this, I have all this detail on the inside, but you don't really see it. So I'm thinking about maybe doing something where we can open the hood and see inside. Of course, that'll also mean having to develop more stuff on the inside so that it makes a bit more sense. Or it could be a side panel that lifts up. I don't know. Another thing is, some people feel like it doesn't fit together well, and I'm thinking I can probably do some things with the top and bottom halves to make them fit more positively, so that they feel like they more. Sorry, my brain got inverted looking at the polygons that were selected. Got distracted. Yeah, just make it feel like these things fit together better. I think they fit together fine, but if they kind of like have a thing to snap into, then it'll be probably a better experience for the builder. I suppose I could make his head a little bit smaller so it's not right up against the dome. I don't want him to do that though. He needs something below down here that makes sense. I did originally have an entire thing envisioned for the inside. There was actually, I designed a mechanism so that if you turned the bottom piece here, the landing gears would come out. But, yeah, this isn't the right material for that, because the thing never actually turned. And all these panels at one point were separate, not just the top and bottom half, but I had trouble getting them to print the way I wanted them to, so at some point you gotta stop working on a project and just get it out there. So that's what I did, and now we're on to revisions if we get to that point. I don't feel like that's a major necessity at the moment, but one of the things on the tin is something we started the other day in the lunch break stream, and that is playing around in DPaint.js. DPaint.js is, as it says here, image editor modeled after the legendary Deluxe Paint, with a focus on retro Amiga file formats. Now, Deluxe Paint was a major paint package back in the early days of video games and computer art, especially on the Amiga, but I think they did have a DOS version of it. So if you played Mega Drive, Genesis games, stuff from that era, you may have been playing games with artwork generated in this program, because it was And if you were definitely if you were on an Amiga, playing an Amiga game. But there's another version of this that just came out this year. This one is a web browser based game or experience. Let me turn that down. This is a web browser based experience where you can just go to this website, stef.be/dpaint, and you're here and you can start playing, which is what I did Wednesday. Just started making some shapes and filling them in, and there are there are differences between the original DPaint and this. At this point, you can't just. I haven't quite figured out what the selections do other than, making a brush. To brush. But I don't know. I haven't figured out the selection system yet, but that's okay. Because today we're doing something a little different. We're going to be using PyDPaint or PyDPainter, which came out. So this is the dude that I made on the stream on Wednesday. One difference between the original DPaint and the and DPaint.js is that the palette here is not indexed as far as I can tell. Meaning that I can paint a color, and if I go back here and change this color in the palette, which I don't know that I can actually do, it doesn't change the color on the canvas, because it's like Photoshop these days and a lot of other paint programs where you have unlimited paint colors that you can paint with. Even though it's like you have a palette here, I don't know what the actual limit is. Like, you can actually change the color after you, so I don't know. You just basically have unlimited colors, I think. But, however, with the original DPaint, if you change a color on a palette, it'll actually change the color for everything that's painted with that color, because it's all indexed to this color swatch. That lets you do some interesting things, like, it's called, let me select that there, and then do a range to, I don't remember how this works, but range to there. And now you can actually, now it's gonna cycle through if you paint something with this color, which I am not being very descriptive about it. If I paint something with that color, or is it this color? At any rate, there's a way to color cycle through the colors. So where is it? I wanted to do a range. So let's do a range from there to there. Speed. There we go. That's up or down. Why did it stop? Okay, I think there's a keyboard command for that. But now if I... This is how they did like waterfall effects and stuff in old games. It gives the illusion of movement even though there's no movement. Now how do I get it to actually do that? Forget what the keyboard command was for it. Oh, cycle F7. No? No. Let's see. There is a way to actually have it do the color cycling thing. I don't remember what that is. It's been ages since I've used this program. Tab. Okay. So now it's just like you can see how the color moves through the index color. So Anyway, I know. Super interesting stuff. But this program, or this version, this PyDPainter, is a lot more like the original. And it can do the thing that I like, which is I can have it set to the lasso tool to a fill, or the draw tool to set to a fill, and then draw shape, and let go of the mouse, and it fills that shape with the color that I have selected. Of course, because I have the color cycling selected, it's actually shifting through the colors as I release the mouse. But, you know, that's not necessarily what I came here to do, although it could be interesting. Let's see, where is... I'll just undo. There's probably an erase in here somewhere. Ooh, we have the... Yeah, it has a lot more of the tools that the original had. So that's cool. Let me turn off cycle. Smear. What does smear do? Whee. That's cool. That works well for this. Let's switch back to my regular brush. Ooh, I can do a pattern. I can do a wrap, brush, gradient, gradient. Because I have the range set, it's also working with the range. Nifty, nifty. There we go. I just want that. Oh, I'm on smear. That's right. I just wanted to try this again because it's been a long time. I just remember using this and then trying the same thing with the smear tool in Photoshop, and the smear tool in Photoshop was always so much slower, so much less responsive. Of course, it's dealing with a lot more colors and usually a higher resolution, so probably not a good comparison. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It might have something to do with the graphics mode I'm in. Let's see, change screen format, extra half bright. Maybe that'll... No, change the size of the brush too. Okay, so I don't know what that does. Mode. It's on color. I thought I had it on shade. Did I mess something up somehow? Blend. Don't mind me, I'm just making a mess of things. I do have... Yeah, it's my... and smooth. Smear, blend, and smooth. Smooth is the blur, basically. Whee! Of course, with limited colors, you have to select which colors you're going to use, and, well... that causes issues. I don't know that the original had unlimited undos. It may have just been one. But anyway, let's get back to actually producing something, if I can. That's 2. There we go. Not sure what happened there. Anyway. You can tell, I did... If you saw the Wednesday stream, I did change the color of the sky, just because reasons. We'll say reasons. What is this? Zoom magnifier. I like that they have tool tips now. They didn't used to. At least I don't think they did. But yes, we have the brush tool. anim's not set up yet, but hopefully he'll add that at some point. Whoever is the author of this program. This does not have layers like Photoshop, but it does have kind of two layers. You have the foreground and the background. I don't remember exactly how that works, but you can use one as a stencil. Alright, now let's get back to painting, huh? Select a brush. What if I want to blend this together more? No, it's not. Let's do it with this one. That's too much. Huh. So if I double click, right click on it, I can scale this, I can change the size. How do I change the left foreground, control key to slow down spray rate, right click to adjust spray size. Yeah, it doesn't slow it down that much. Anyway, let's see. I keep wanting to zoom in, which I can do. Somehow. Undo, undo, undo. Maybe I can't. Maybe it's not working. Okay, we'll just do this then. I'm going to switch over to this non-continuous line tool and just add some more dots in here. Give it some more shading. But I also want to do some, I think I'll give him some hair. Go with pink hair. Like I said, now I can actually use this tool the way I liked using it, which was just drawing shapes and letting go of the mouse. It's been a long time since I've done that. Well, other than, like, you know, the other day when I was playing with this. Suppose I could give him a mohawk. That's more 80s, right? Let's go with a darker shade. That looks blue. Less purpley, less magenta-y. I think the music kind of matches the vibe. That's ridiculous. I can't say I love it. The other thing is if you right click, you're drawing with the background color. So you have two colors to work with at all times, which is kind of neat. let's change some colors around a bit. I want this to be more into the pink, but darker. And I want to copy that over to this one, and I want this to actually be brighter. Maybe less saturated, so it shows up brighter still. All right. So I'm just continuing on with drawing with a mouse in an old school paint program. This is PyDPainter. It's a Python implementation of Deluxe Paint. Just a fan project. Not fully featured yet, but it does scratch the nostalgia itch. At least for me. Although, technically I didn't use Deluxe Paint a whole lot, because at some point I decided to not pirate software, and I didn't have a legitimate copy of this. So I had something called Free Paint that had similar tool sets. And eventually I bought Brilliance, which is another Amiga paint package. And I do have that. I can probably bring that up on emulation at some point, but I don't have it set up now. Just because it's like I've always wanted to get into the emulation, but didn't quite. It's like I have the stuff to do it, but I never spent much time in it. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing there. Let's make this some shoulder pads that are separate. That arm over there is a bit short, I think. That's okay. I don't know what kind of creature this is anyway. Maybe they all have short arms. Let me turn off fill. Okay, top and bottom corner. That's how you change it, by the top and the bottom corner. If you're curious about the page size, screen format, I'm painting at 320 by 256. So there you go. 320 by 256 pixels. Gonna get that out of the way. Not sure why Zoom. Not sure why Zoom isn't working. Maybe it's just not implemented. I can do a color pick. Or maybe. No. Not sure. course, Deluxe Paint was made before the user interface standards for graphics programs was completely established, so imagine some of these conventions did transfer over to other programs, but eventually, like, the likes of Photoshop kind of took over and everybody started doing everything that way. Not really happy with all of that. Maybe I will move it. Wonder if I can rotate the brush. No, don't want symmetry toggle. We'll just do that. Move it over there. Still not going to be quite enough. Yeah, it's not going to work. Let's redo that. I mean, it probably is a way to rotate that, but doesn't mean it would look good given the slow resolution. My one viewer left. Ooh, puppy dog. Making puppy dog sounds. Alright. I was not a prolific pixel artist back in the day. Still am not today. I just played around with this stuff a bit. Maybe a bit more than a lot of people. I don't know. Okay, clickety click 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 clickety click click click. I feel like this should taper in or something. messy. I don't even know why he's holding a gun. It's just a decision I made the other day. Let's put a shape in that hand. And that shape will be in the shape of a gun. Because if there's one thing the world needs, it's more aliens with guns. And I'm feeling the cuff. What if it has a detail on it? Let's kick it old school. Let's give him an elbow pad. What if I should introduce another color? Don't really know what's going on with that, but that's okay. Yeah, it's amateur hour on the internet. Oops, I wanted that to be that. Should probably be painting this with gradients, huh? Oh well. I'm gonna say there aren't any rules on this. Because there aren't. I'm just having fun. Clicking the mouse button hundreds of times. This is, you know, a bit sloppier than it would be done by a professional artist back in the day, I'm sure. Not that games weren't released with weird art. Because they were. I do not have a story for this. That's the color it is. Okay. Kind of like the purple and green. I like the purple as the shadow for the green. It doesn't necessarily make sense, but I kind of like it. Alright. Let's go back to our screen format. I'm going to change that back to 16 colors, which may already be more than it is, because I think it's less than 8 colors even. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to rework the shading on this. I guess that's more of a shine than a shade. Do 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 do. As I was saying, you can have 2 colors selected. So I can draw with the blue color with the right mouse button, and I can draw with the white color with the left mouse button. Undo that. This does use Control E for the undo. This does use Control E for the undo. But I think the original may actually have used U. U for undo. Because that made sense. But I think Control Z, Control X, Control C for cut, copy, paste, or Control Z for undo. Control X for cut. Control C for copy, Control V for paste. Those were selected probably because of how easy it is to have your fingers just resting on those keys and press them without having to stretch across to like the middle of the keyboard to hit the U for undo. Or the P for paste, so it's easier, more ergonomic, as we might say these days. Alright, that's looking a bit better. And much less, shall we say, personal. from where we started. Ooh, we can add some indication of some writing on there. I don't know if that comes across as such. There's no sights on this, so let's add some sights. Not that it would necessarily make sense. I don't know what kind of firearm this is. If it's a firearm at all. Are lasers considered firearms? They do shoot out high energy that could start fires. Although you don't usually see that happening in movies and such, using lasers to start fires. I might be coming to the end of this one. There we go. Yeah. So less than 16 colors. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, well, that'd be 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 colors? See what happens if I can switch this. Yeah, 16 is what, or 8 to 16 I think is what I was thinking. So, okay. Wonder which colors the hair are. If they're these up here or these down here. Let's find out. Oh, let's set this as the range. Well, considering his hair is not color cycling, that's not the color cycling. That's not the ones he's using. All right, so let's do something different with this. Not exactly sure what I'm doing yet, but you know it's gonna be cool. No, you don't know that. I'm just hoping it is. Just to be in the blue area. I'll make this one white. Question is, how do I do what I want to do? Do I even know what I want to do? Why is it... It's not doing what I want to do. Because for some reason the... words escape me. For some reason it is painting in from the top couple there, not down there. So I think I need to work on that a bit. That's also, I think, would be in the palette. Yeah, it's using range 2, and I want to use range 1. I don't really know why I want to do this. No. Not sure why it's doing that. Oh well. I just want to add a little bit of movement, color to this, maybe. Oh, why is it using that? Turn cycle off. Wonder what would it look like if I go back. Not quite what I had in mind. But it works. We added something like that on his name badge. I need some kind of background, I think. Oh, I'm a little afraid to start doing a background. Not really. Not afraid, but since it is a separate piece, I know I'll just save what I have here. File, save. Save as. I don't don't remember what the difference between IFF and ILBM is. Come green. Okay, so how do I flip between the background and foreground? So here's what it looks like without the CRT looking stuff. You can see how it looks so... You can see every individual pixel. That's what things look like on the LCDs today. But on the old CRTs, you'd have a couple of things. You'd have colors blending together a little bit. And you'd also have like scan lines that also affect that. So just because you can look at something in pristine, pixel perfect view does not mean that's the way it was intended to be viewed, because they were using displays that softened it a bit. Alright, I wanted to do something with a background which required I wonder what the question mark does. Or is it just toggle tooltips? Toggle help bubbles on or off. Okay. I like having them on. Let's see now. What would I like to do? First of all, let me copy this to a brush. Ooh, that does not look right. Oh, it's in matte somehow. How would I get it to matte mode? Mode. Bah. I'm a little curious about matte mode. Huh. Why is it doing that? Okay. Because I had a color selected? Or didn't have a color selected? Okay, it's definitely keeping the black background. Well, there we go. Let's copy the whole thing as a separate layer. Brush. Oh, there's how I can rotate it. Duh. I just call it a brush. Alright. How do I flip the background? Like I said, there's basically a foreground and a background. But anyway, let's do the background. I'll just start over. And unfortunately, since I decided to use these for color cycling, that doesn't give me the full range of color. I don't want to expand the palette more, necessarily. So let's make it just a dark background, I guess. Woo. I wonder if I can switch this. Screen info. Stream info updated successfully. I thought I switched it to that. This is a random looking background, huh? Let's do some spray painting, I guess. I think some hard edges are good. Let's just have it drift off. Of course, in that case, I could just use smooth or blend. Smear. I don't think smear is meant to work with the airbrush, but maybe. Should it just have a different texture than the foreground? This does break it up using the airbrush, but it doesn't like smudge it the way it would if I were using this. Or smear it, I guess. Good morning. Welcome in. I decided I would get an early start today since I have to leave early. And the thing I was originally going to do, I didn't have a camera ready, so I'm doing something at the computer instead. Did you just wake up? Life of a rock star? Well, thank you for adding me to your morning routine. Well, since I have a day job where I have to be there at 8 a.m., I'm kind of used to getting up earlier. I switch to this. It's a bit big. smear is what I want for that. Anyway. This is some kind of landscape I'm working on. Not exactly sure what. I'm just kind of throwing stuff together. Do I want to have starry skies? Do I want those stars to be twinkling? I think I want plenty that aren't. Oh, but I don't want smear, I want color. I'll do one here, and one here, and one here. No. Undo, undo. Ready for the coolness? Restore. Boom. And now, the color cycling. It's a little fast. I think I'm gonna... It's still rough, but I'm gonna call it done. Save it. Oh, leg's asleep. Need to move it. Thanks. I'm playing around with PyDPainter, which is kind of a recreation of Deluxe Paint on the Amiga and other early computers. Now I have to decide what I want to do next. I think I will up the colors to 64 or 32 and 32 darker shades of those 32s. Half bright. What colors? What colors? Have any requests for drawings? Subjects? Maybe that I wanted to do some range effects. Seems like there is more fluidity to my avatar. Maybe because I'm not doing 3D stuff. That could help. A little less GPU intensive. What I want wanted was gradient. Yep, that's what happens when you mix up the color palette. Huh. Yes, you are always down for a plague doc. That is true. How about Gonzo? That's plague doctor-esque. Just kidding. You know what? I'm just gonna start over. Oh, there's spare. I was looking for that earlier. Okay. Okay. First we start with a carrot. And we add a couple of peas. And I'm getting into dangerous territory now. Yeah, Plague Dr. Gonzo. Nope, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this. I'm just kind of blocking in some shapes. Like I say, it's going to be historically accurate. Might look a bit like Darkwing Duck. Yeah, I guess that could be a rim light there. That'd be cool. Also slightly reminiscent of Spy vs. Spy. No thanks. It can get one in trouble. I suppose I've picked up a few things in life. Should probably have something to show for it at my age. Oh, come on. Where is the hole? Of course, nowadays, clicking on that... Yep. That's... These days, that fill is instantaneous. But back in the day, man, that would have... You watch the things grow into place. Why is it doing that, though? Uh-oh. That is the half bright mode. I feel like the snout should be darker. Or beak, I guess. Let's say this guy's whole head is wrapped. Bug Boy was a bad boy. Welcome in. I'm just doing some doodling. For some reason, Ezrom requested a plague doctor. I don't feel like that. Now we can put a big medical badge right there. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I am drawing with a mouse. I'm doing good. It's not... I wonder if my camera is all charged up yet. Using an old phone for a camera and it wasn't charged, so I was gonna do something at the workbench today, but didn't get to it. So I'm gonna be doing one of the slots for Camp Chaos for Art and Jest. So I need to figure out what I'm doing for that. I was figuring I would do a little scratch build project, like a lidbot or something like that. But I would like it to be kind of follow alongable. So I was gonna work on that today, trying to develop something, but did not happen. Did not happen yet, anyway. Not really sure what's going on with this, but let's give him a cloak, I guess. Or more of a... July 26, 9 p.m. If you're around. Yeah. Hopefully I will live up to the hype. It's a pretty chaotic crowd she has over there. I'm a pretty chill streamer. We'll see how it goes. It's like I put the application in, but I didn't even know that I was selected until like the day before they were supposed to confirm or something like that, because they did we're still waiting for answers from, you know, these streamers, and had my name highlighted so it showed up in my notifications. I wasn't necessarily going to go for full noir, but close. Kind of got close to it. So, I'm going to save this as. Do I have to type in a name first? Okay. No. Weird thing with the old computer programs. So much energy, yeah. I can fake energy. Really, I can. Welcome to my energy stream. The thing with old, as I was saying, the old graphics, back the old Amiga day, it's like the with Windows, or with the advent of DOS and Windows, it kind of became the norm for the file extension to tell the operating system how to interpret what type of file it was, whereas that wasn't really established on the Amiga, and the Mac had a separate file that went along with every file that kind of described what it was, I think. There's also a separate icon file for each file on the Amiga, but that could be deleted. I'm just saying, you know, it's like I could save the file without having an extension on it. Plague duck, ping. All right. Let's see how if that turned out. It probably will need a little bit of work. This here is that's not what I thought it would do. Huh. This is another program. This is DPaint.js. This is a web-based image editor modeled after the legendary Deluxe Paint with a focus on retro Amiga file formats. And this is, like, again, web-based, so you just need to go to steph.be/dpaint. There are differences. I think a big one is this one is you can load in different palettes and stuff, but when you change the palette, it does not change in the artwork. So I guess essentially you have unlimited colors, whereas with PyDPainter, which is more of a faithful recreation of DPaint without all the features implemented yet. But that does have the ability, that does function the same way as far as palettes go, so as the old school program. There it is with scan lines and a little bit of blurriness. Oh yeah, I wanted to... Oh, and you can get PyDPainter from github.com/MRIALE/PyDPainter. Or just go to GitHub and search PyDPainter. It's a Python application. You need to install Python and a couple other libraries, but it kind of tells you how. So it's not the easiest thing to get going, but fairly easy. How is Bug Boy was a bad boy? I wanted to see what this looked like in a regular program. Or modern program, I guess. Although technically this would be a modern program since it's been written recently. The multiverse is maddening, I tell ya. Models. There we go. I open up in Photoshop. Photoshop. It is index color. Let's go to mode. Color table. Yeah, just as I thought. The interior is the background color. So if I want this to... I wonder if I can import it as... or open it as a... whatever. See if I just change the mode, what happens. Guess it doesn't really matter. Not sure why his arm's sticking out like that. Oh well. Let's just close those off. Oops. Pencil tool. Almost never use it, but this is the time. Oh, thank you. Hold on, hold on. Thank you. You're making me blush. Yeah, I've had that ready to go for a while now, but just haven't had a chance to use it, so thank you for the compliment. Why is this not doing what I want it to do? What is going on? Weird. Oh well. Now I can just... contiguous anti-alias tolerance 0 point sample. Close enough. Oops. Invert. Come on. J. Things are acting weird. Alright, fine. We'll do this. Oh, really? Deselect. I don't want to deselect. Select a mic? No. I should be able to press the J key, and that should copy it to a new layer, but it's not doing it. What if I just hit copy and paste? There we go. I wonder if I need a darker outline. Just on the left. Actually, I'm just gonna do it this way. Do it the old school way. Close enough. I wasn't gonna have the highlight on the outside, on the this side, because it's highlighted. Switch it back to index color. Nah, we'll just do a save as, export as. Did that go where it shouldn't have gone? Where did I save that? I need to open up Photoshop again just to see where I saved it. Export as. I should remember the last place I saved something to. And it was in proofs. For a completely different project. Yes, move anyway. Okay, Mr. Ezra. There is a link to the picture if you want it. Is there anybody else around who wants anything? 11:23. Okay, I actually need to get going soon because I have the blocker. You just arrived. I have to leave in like 10, 20 minutes. 20 minutes or so. But before I go, do you have any picture drawing requests? Say I'm sorry to hear that. Here's I finished up this guy today. And did this guy for Mr. Ezram. A three-eyed octopus. Okay, let's try that. Three-eyed octopus. I'll just use whatever palette I have right here, right now. 8 tentacles, huh? One, two, that's a lot of legs, man. That's an octo amount of legs. You're killing me, Smalls. I'm using a paint program called PyDPainter, which is a recreation of Deluxe Paint from back in the 80s and 90s. And we're working at the extremely high resolution of 320 pixels wide by 256 pixels high, so yeah. It's about 8-bit, 16-bit computer era type graphic. I guess 16-bit computers graphic. I'm not sure this is going to look like an octopus exactly, other than it just has lots of appendages. At least it's not a spider, eh? I did that the hard way. Why is... don't understand why that's doing that, but okay. Guess I could have started with the background. Of course, it's the... Do octopus even have eyes? I guess they do. I know the squid has huge eyes. Looks like kind of a skull. You got kind of a skull thing going on there. That's good. Dink, dink. He looks happy. Oh, I can fix that. Excellent. Let's do this. Let's make all of those. That's dark blue. Actually, I think that one needs to go away. I'll make that one go away too. Bro. This is... quite messy. Okay. Apparently it thinks I'm trying to do something else. Doesn't necessarily look like eyes, but I guess they would need the dark soullessness in the middle, the inside. Actually, they do have kind of weird eyes, don't they? It's been a while since I've looked at one. Thank you, sir. What else did I want to do? I wanted to... I can do that. Up to 2. Why is that doing that? I just do not understand. what I have set that makes it do that. Well, could do bubbles. How about that? Well, I am running out of time, so we are going to wrap this up very quickly. And let's see if I can do what I was thinking about doing with that. Does it look better, darker or lighter? We'll go lighter. And this one, less saturated and darker. Unfortunately, things got out of control. Needs glasses. I am not sure. It looks like what I want it to look like. Let me make him a bit more purple. But we gave it a shot, huh? Thank you. Let's see if I can do this. Spare swap. That does not do that. Oh well. It is what it is at this point. Did that do that? It did, didn't it? Okay. Okay, Z. There's your whatever it is. Three-eyed octopus. No, yeah, I guess it is. Looks more like a beak than an eye, but that's what I get for not looking at reference. Thanks again. I'm gonna see if I can raid out here real quick. Is there anybody I know, we know? We'll go to Wahoo Wizard. Thanks, take care. I will see you guys later. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it.